Good morning. Right now I'm sitting poolside at the Serena Hotel in Nairobi, Kenya. And what I wanted to do is kind of do my first reflection video from Kenya, and let everybody know exactly what transpired from the moment I left Detroit, Michigan, and what brought me to the great country of Kenya. And one of the things that I want to point out is that I made a plan, and the plan actually became real. I left Detroit, Michigan earlier, about 3 days ago, and arrived at the airport, Jomo Kenyatta Airport in Nairobi, Kenya at night. And so basically my route was from Detroit, Michigan to Amsterdam, and from Amsterdam through to Nairobi, Kenya, and I arrived around 10:30 or so at night. Going through customs and immigrations was actually pretty much straightforward, no major issues there, which I was pleased. You know, I did all the preparation, what to bring and what not to bring. And one of the things I want to point out before I continue with this video is that going through Amsterdam was wonderful, particularly if you're able to use the premium lounge there. They have the ability to provide showers if you want to take showers and things like that. The buffet menu is actually wonderful. So that's something to keep in mind if you're able to fly through Amsterdam in premium class and use a premium lounge. It is definitely something worthwhile. You're able to freshen up before you finish on to Nairobi. But what I want to talk about is why I exactly wanted to come to Kenya. It all started many years ago. I wanted to take a trip to Africa. I've always wanted to come to Africa, but I never knew what country to go to or where I would explore. And so I ended up coming to the conclusion that of all the countries, Kenya would probably be the best fit for me to start off with. And I can tell you what, I plan on being here for well over some period of time, and I have many things in store and planned to experience all of Kenya. And what I'm going to do, and what I've done so far, is that I'm able to come to Nairobi, go through the CBD district, or the commercial business district of Kenya. They have an upper CBD area and a lower CBD, and that is an experience in and of itself. I found the people to be very friendly, no major issues whatsoever. So that's something to kind of keep in mind if you ever decide to go to Kenya, to make sure that you explore everywhere and just don't stay in your hotel. I happen to be in a phenomenal hotel, and that is the Serena Hotel. It's a 5-star hotel in Nairobi, Kenya, and I absolutely would encourage anyone, if coming to Kenya and you want a higher end place to stay, to consider the Serena Hotel. It's a great hotel. But some of the other things I'm going to be doing while I'm in Kenya is going to be, today, for example, I'm going to Mombasa, and then on to Diani Beach. And what I'm going to do when going to Mombasa, I'm going to take the SGR train, which is a train that's about a 5-hour trip from Nairobi to Mombasa. And I'm taking a premium class, and it's the seats. I'll do a standalone video for that, and you all can check it out. But that's going to be today. I check out of the Serena Hotel today and head down to Mombasa, and then over to Diani Beach, to the sands of Diani Beach, as well as Nomad. There's 2 different resorts that I'll be going to down there. But what I wanted to really talk to you all about is the importance of following your dream and taking time for yourself. I intend to retire soon, and I am seriously contemplating retiring to the country of Kenya. Now, this trip is going to serve several purposes: a fact-finding tour, if you will, and also an opportunity for me to explore the country. Oh, how could I possibly forget this? For those of y'all who've been watching my channel for any period of time, you may wonder, what in the world what is he doing to grow his hair? Well, I'll give you a little secret. Yesterday, or actually my first full day in Kenya, I went and had my hair locked, and then had some extensions put in as well. And I did not know this. If you all did not know this, in Kenya, locks were first started, invented, if you will, by the Kikuyu tribe. They were part of the Mao movement. It was a group of freedom fighters, if you will, that kind of hid out in the mountains during the colonial period. And I'd encourage you all to do some more research on that. But anyway, I thought locks started in Jamaica. I did not know they started actually in Kenya. So that's what I found out. So and actually, the gentleman who installed these locks is a Kikuyu, the tribe of the Mao, who actually again are the folks who invented, if you will, came up with locks. And I guess what as it was explained to me, it was the locks came about because, you know, when you're hiding out in the mountains, you don't have many hair care, beauty supply stores in the area. And so the hair kind of grew into locks. And so that's kind of the genesis of locks. So this is something that I'm going to have for the rest of my life. I'm very excited about this journey that I'm on. And anyway, so I definitely wanted to talk about that. Now, again, I want to talk about my first impressions of Kenya. My first impressions of Kenya have been, very good. It was sensory overload. If you all come to Nairobi, just know that it's a bustling city, particularly the area where I was. And again, I went to the downtown central business district, and it's in two areas. It's the upper district and then the lower district. And the lower district is where things very much are I call it, controlled chaos, if you will. People going everywhere, cars and trucks and motorbikes all over the place. But I really enjoyed being in that environment. And again, this is the first time I've ever been on the continent of Africa, and Kenya is the first country, and Nairobi is the first city. So my first impressions are very good. And again, the Serena Hotel is a phenomenal hotel that I would encourage everybody who's interested in coming to Kenya and staying in Nairobi to stay at the Serena Hotel. But later on in my journey through Kenya, I'm going to be visiting the Samburu people of northern Kenya. I'm going to be taking a safari. And that is something I'm really looking forward to. I'm going to be visiting an orphanage in the Matari district of Kenya. And I'm going to give a speech to the youngins there, so to speak, to give them some hope and encouragement, or just another way of looking at things. And they're not going to know who I am. They're not going to know that I'm actually doing this. I'm just going to kind of appear. I made arrangement with the staff to kind of do that. I have a heart for orphans and people like that. So that is another thing I'm looking forward to. But again, today I'm headed to Mombasa, and that is a whole nother experience. And that's heavily populated of Swahili-speaking people, the true Swahili dialect, from what I understand. Now, I don't speak Swahili. I do know a few words. I know Jambo. So you don't say Jumbo, you say Jambo. I was corrected on that. I was in a cab or a Uber, and very friendly guy, and I was trying to impress him with my Swahili. And I go, Jumbo, Jumbo. And he goes, no, it's Jumbo. You slow it down. You don't just say Jumbo. So for all of my Swahili speaking people out there, Jumbo. And so I know a couple of words. Asante sana is like thank you. And a couple of other words that, as hopefully at the end of these 40 plus days, I'll be much more fluent in my dialect, in my speaking. So that's something that to keep in mind. Now, what I want to do is kind of point out, again, this really is not about a vacation. This is a culmination of many things that I've been dealing in my life, from my weight loss to dealing with emotional issues, from depression to dealing with PTSD, post-traumatic stress disorder, and a lot of life events. Coming here again is my goal to help recenter myself spiritually, mentally, physically. And for those again who followed me, know that I've lost a healthy weight of well over 50 pounds. I was losing my hair. I went through the whole procedure to make sure my hair was healthy, and so all these things, and emotionally dealing with the work to avoid stress. I do not deal with drama in my life anymore. I don't care where it comes from. If you're drama, I avoid you like like a plague. So this whole trip to Africa, and particularly Kenya, that's what it's really about. It's not really about, coming to Nairobi per se, or Diani Beach, or going on a safari, though all of that is part of what I hope continues to help in my transformation to being the best version of myself. There's something else, speaking of coming to Kenya, from a biblical standpoint, and obviously I'm not, Yeshua. He went to the desert for 40 days and rained for 40 days for Noah, and I'm going to be in Kenya for 40 days. But what this does represent is true transformation on a spiritual level. So I kind of, and I didn't plan it for 40 days and go, well, Yeshua from the Bible was off 40 days, and it just worked out that way. And I was like, 40 days also. So I don't know what that means, if anything at all, or it's just a coincidence. But I will be here for 40 days. So that is something that I thought was really interesting. And I also met a wonderful guide here that's going to show me around, and that's important too. So I'm coming to Kenya not knowing anybody. I was able to meet a guide prior, and she's going to show me around and help introduce me to the culture. One of the first things I did was, in addition to getting the locks the first day, the second day, which was yesterday, I went and got Safaricom. It's like, AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, but for Kenya, Safaricom. And then also I learned how to use M-Pesa. And M-Pesa is a way of buying things in Kenya. It's cashless. A lot of things are cashless around here. And so I got familiar with how to do the M-Pesa, which was really interesting. I messed it up a couple of times, and it's a wonderful experience, but I'm really enjoying the whole process of being in Kenya. Another thing that I point out is in decision making on what I plan to do as I make this. I have a decision filter for my life. And so when dealing with stress or issues or questions that reflect my life, I basically run it through this. Is whatever in front of me going to take me to where I want to be 5 years from now? Help me be the person I want to be 5 years from now? If the answer is yes, I continue walking towards it. If the answer is no, I don't have anything to do with it at all. So it could be with people, situations, opportunities. If it's something that does not take me to where I want to be 5 years from now, the answer is a hard no, or I just pivot to another direction. So that's something else that I have learning about things as I improve my health, my mental well-being, my spiritual growth. Having this filter absolutely helps in making that decision. So as I close my first reflection video from Kenya, Nairobi, at the beautiful Serena Hotel, I don't know what this whole journey will reveal at the end. That's up to the Most High, Yahweh, to reveal to me. But what I do know is I'm coming here without any expectations per se. I'm coming here with the openness and willingness to learn and grow, and we'll see how everything works out. So if you're interested, go ahead and make sure you subscribe to the channel, because I will be doing periodic reflection videos from Kenya. And I will be doing certainly some shorts from time to time. If I see something interesting, I'll do a quick short like I did yesterday about the Serena Hotel. I'm sure I'll do one today when I'm on the SGR train headed to Mombasa, and certainly at the resort. So you can certainly follow along with that. So with that, I'm going to enjoy this beautiful hotel for a few more hours and then make sure I head to the, what is it? The Nairobi terminus. It's not terminal, it's terminus, and head on down to Mombasa. So take care, folks. And until the next reflection video, have a blessed day. Shalom.